Hello, everyone, and welcome to M the Ambassador. I'm your host, M, and as the title says, we will be reviewing Scream 7. And I still love the little tagline I gave. Will you scream for joy, or will you scream in agony? First and foremost, I think it'd be very important to tell you my background with Scream. I have seen the first Scream, and I thought it was a really good film. Very much, part of that whole, it pretty much started the whole slasher genre. Believe me, or not slasher genre, I meant to say slasher genre resurgence of the late 90s, early 2000s. Which, I thought it was a pretty, for better or for worse, I would say. Mostly because, and Mr. Weirdface could attest to this, I think they're in the chat today, I have been trying to do a review for this kind of crappy slasher film called Scared / Cutthroat. It was a 2002 film. I've been taking a little too long on that, but I've also been busy. So, it is what it is, I suppose. But yeah, so I've only seen the first Scream. I know there have been, given that it's, Scream 7, of course there are like, what do you say, about... what was it? About 6 other ones, of course. That said, I'll be honest, I just was not very impressed with this movie. I think I wrote it down, I had a lot of notes written down, honestly, and one of the big, and honestly, this paragraph I wrote kind of says a lot. The opening of this film really does set up everything about it. It is a movie so obsessed with the legacy of another movie from 30 years ago that it thinks we will care about it by proximity. Truly symbolic that it burns down the original house with characters that are just fodder for admittedly cool kills. And I will say that's a big praise I will give it, that the kills are really cool, really inventive. But honestly, I feel like if that's kind of your only barometer for watching a movie, then, you could just, go on YouTube and just look up Scream 7 Kills compilation. When inevitably it happens. Then again, that would also imply that people would care. So, take it with what it's worth. That said, okay. Yeah, so pretty much like the whole part of this whole film is pretty much like, some like murders happened at the original house or like a recreation of the house, then that now the killer's trying to get Sydney. I almost called her Sweeney, which that would have been a faux pas right there. But yeah, they're trying to get like the original girl, Sydney, which Neve Campbell. She's reprising her role as Sydney, although they call her Evans now because she's married to like a cop played by Joel McHale. Which I gotta say, I think he was a bit wasted on this movie, which is a shame too because I love him as an actor. I think he's a great actor. In fact, honestly, the whole cast are really good actors. And I actually thought they were decently directed. It's just what I really do think takes this movie down is the writing, because the characters and the writing. Because I'll be honest, besides Sidney Prescott, Sydney Evans, the original girl, I'll be real with you. I just think that all the other characters just I didn't care for them. I mean, their deaths were cool. I'm not going to deny that, but that's beside the point, right? I mean, it does seem a bit weird, like how a lot of the emotional resolution, like how much, well, this movie, it feels like they're trying to get me to care about Sydney's daughter, right? Who I kind of feel like they're trying to set up as the new Sydney. Because I mean, let's be real. Given given how old the original actress is, which by the way, I want to say Neve Campbell, or I don't know how you pronounce her name. It's like her first name's Neve. Neve. I don't know. Either way, right? She is very. She still looks great for her age, honestly. So, but I get it. You don't want that kind of situation where you're down to fucking Scream 17, and you're doing it with an older actress. So I can understand maybe a little of hesitation, right? But at the same time, I kind of feel like the thing is, what I remember from Scream 1 was how much characterization they gave Sydney. In this movie, it kind of just feels like they kind of just said you had to care for her daughter just because, oh, she's related to Sydney, and that's it. Which I think it says a little bit that I don't even really. And I think it says a little bit that I don't even freaking know. Like, I didn't even really remember the daughter's name, so. Yeah. Oh, wait, no, it's Tatum. Which, yeah, no, I do think it says just a little bit that I don't really remember. That it took me remembering that that the daughter is named after an original character for me to, well, whatever. And honestly, what I think also helped about like the first film was the friend group. In the first film, the friend group I think really did help characterize Sydney, and I can understand why it was very a big travesty on why she died. And it also kind of showed like how like it was also a good subversion of a lot of slasher tropes where let's be real, a lot of the teens in slasher films, they kind of do just end up becoming fodder just to get killed at the end of the day, right? But in this movie, ironically enough, it did like a cardinal sin that I think the first one avoided, which was that you had to care about these characters for those kills to really be impactful. Which is a shame too, because like I said, the actors are really good in this movie. A lot of the actors are really good in this movie. But I'm really, you're not really meant to care about them. Most of them are just red herrings and fodder. So it's like, listen, and like a really cool scene where like someone gets disemboweled and their guts like fly off like a stage play, or like a like a stage or whatever, while they're like wrapped on, or while they're in a harness, those like harnesses they use for lifting characters or whatever to fly. Like, it doesn't really matter how cool that scene is if I didn't care for the character. Likewise, I'll be honest, like the the killers, which, yeah, spoiler alert for literally the gimmick of Scream, is that the two killers in this movie had a really really fucking dumb uh motive, which pretty much the motive is just, well, one, it kind of does, like, listen, they do set up like that Sydney wrote a book, right? In fact, while doing some research, I found out at least like Scream 4, that's where they discussed Scream 4. That's it. Kind of established that she wrote like a memoir or whatever about what happened to like about what happened when they were when like her friends were slaughtered and shit, right? So okay, it's like set up and it is a thing in the franchise, but the thing is I didn't see Scream 4. I only like learned about it after, well, one, they mentioned like the memoir Sydney wrote, and two, after I did some research. But I mean, okay, it's set up in the movie, but it's also just there wasn't that much of an impact. Okay, she read a like really the killer was just, oh, because the killer's like a neighbor of like the family, right? And she said, "Oh yeah, my I had an abusive husband. I killed him, and now I want to kill you, Sydney." And because of very arbitrary reasons. Which, look, once again, it's not a bad idea, and it's not the worst idea, I guess. It just wasn't really done that well, honestly. Also, I really do think they were very much obsessed with nostalgia baiting in this one. I mean, I even made a joke saying, like, you know, I even wrote down it's like, I made a joke about their use of Matthew Lillard, the original killer. And I just said, oh my god, it's William Afton from Five Nights at Freddy's. And I'm just thinking, they might as well have just made him William Afton, given how much Matthew Lillard contributed to how much his scenes contributed to the movie. It's like, you might as well just make this motherfucker the purple guy, Which is a shame too, because Matthew Lillard was like okay, I will say this. His scenes were goofy as shit. Like, and like not in a fun way, more in a wow, this is stupid. Like really fucking stupid sort of sense. I will say a part of the stupidity too was how much they tried to say, "Oh, he was a deepfake AI video." Which, look, can AI get really good, and can deepfaking be really good? Yeah, but I mean, it's still one. It just felt gimmicky, right? Like it didn't feel like they were actually commenting on AI or deepfakes. It just felt like they were using it as a gimmick to bring back a dead character. Which, I mean, okay, you brought back Matthew Lillard, Stu, right? And for what? Like, to what end? It felt like you did that for just to nostalgia bait people. And I'll be real with you, I just can't see any. I just don't see it, honestly. I guess that's it. I just don't really see how I'm supposed to be interested in this. Look, I like the first movie, but I mean, that movie was from the 90s. It's a movie that I respect as a cultural well, maybe not cultural institution, as a classic of slasher movies. That's it. Otherwise, like, I don't know. I guess it's just when they did this whole AI thing. I mean, I don't know. It just felt like they were trying to do a commentary about it, but it just ended up just kind of just feeling like a gimmick. So, I don't know. I don't know. Other than that, I really do think I think a lot of talent was wasted on this film. That said, did I think it was like the worst movie ever? No, far from it. The way I would describe it would be it's a movie that I could see someone maybe liking, more in the sense of it's fine. Like, besides, yeah, honestly, maybe not fine per se, but like not so bad as to warrant, I think, my at least for me, a low rating, right? But more bad in the sense of this is a that I just think the writing really weighed it down, because everything else about the film was fine. So I think this was a bit of a thing I was trying to figure out, Like, after I left the theater, I was trying to figure out how I felt about it. And I think I ultimately came to this conclusion. I really only like the things that I liked about this movie. I don't think it justifies me going to the theater, you know? Because I kind of went in like around 5:55. So kind of keep that in mind when I say this. Like, so I don't know if it's like around like, and I got a student discount on it, and I also snuck in a bunch of snacks to the theater. So it's like I didn't pay a lot of money for this movie, but I also don't think I could justify. Honestly, I don't like. I think if I paid any more money, I'd be a little more pissed. And I was thinking, do I think I like? Here's the thing, though, right? When I if I said this movie was a matinee, a part of me would feel like, yeah, did it justify me taking a shower, putting deodorant, what literally? And mind you, the movie theater I went to isn't far away from my apartment, but I mean, it's that thing of just like, could I justify the gas that I, like, because Mister Weirdface will vouch for me when I say this, like where it's like the movie theater is not far away from my apartment. So it's like, but even then, it's like that's still gas that I wasted going to and fro. So I really do think, after a lot of thought and consideration, I would only really give this movie a rental. Really, I do think it's a rental just because. Here's the thing though. When I think of a rental movie, I think of a movie that you could kind of ignore, put in the background while you do stuff. Or when, you mostly just want to, hang out with friends, drink some beers, have some pizza, whatever, right? And then when like the cool scenes happen, you're like, oh yo, you know what I mean? Oh yeah, that's sick. That's cool. So yeah, ultimately my score is a rental. I think this movie would do. I think a lot more people would enjoy it, especially fans of Scream would enjoy it more as a rental rather than as a matinee or a full price. With that said, what did you think of the movie? Have you seen it? And if so, let me know. Thank you for your time, and I hope you have a lovely day. So yeah, that's my review for it. Hmm. I am actually kind of wondering, like, what did y'all think? So maybe I might put it into, like, put it into like an edited video I might do later for this thing. I mean, it does sort of feel weird to end it at like under 20 minutes. So, how about this? I think I'll put on an intermission and I'll decide what I'm gonna do from here on out.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Now to pause and refresh. For your convenience, we have an attractive refreshment stand in the lobby with buttered popcorn, golden good and hot from the popper, your favorite candies, wholesome and rich with a flavor treat for every taste, ice cream and other good things to eat, plus delicious Coca-Cola. So bright and bracing with the tang and tingle unmatched by any other beverage. Enjoy ice-cold Coca-Cola at our refreshment stand right now.
All right, hello. Yeah, okay. I think after some giving some thought and consideration, I think I'm just gonna kind of keep this as a mostly just like a chat sort of thing. So I mean, yeah, yeah. Okay, I will say this though. I was experimenting a bit with this because, like I said, I don't want to turn this like channel into just a bunch of VODs and then this channel into a bunch of VODs or whatever. That's why I do a lot of stuff on Twitch more than anything else. Mostly because I don't want this, just to but whatever. I still just didn't really. Yeah, honestly, I do kind of wonder. I mean, have you guys seen? I know I'm gonna ask this like a couple of times, but have you guys seen Scream 7? No, so I mean, I really do want to know, just because it's like, because I just gave a lot of thought to the movie, and I just didn't think it was that great, which is a shame too, because look, like I said, I thought the first Scream was really good and all that, and like honestly. I wasn't too sure. Honestly, I don't know. I guess with Twitch, I guess there's that kind of expectation of what you could do with it. Well, this one I do want to experiment with it a bit, and I thought, I mean, this is a movie review at the end of the day, right? So it is like, what do you do? Oh. Sir, don't worry. Well, okay. Well, how is it that this is how I find out that apparently the supreme? How is it that this is how I find out the supreme leader of Iran is fucking dead? Thank you, Mr. Weirdface. I actually did help. But no, you know what? I will say this though, I do kind of spring a lot of this stuff kind of like out of the blue. And I will say this, so I guess it is sort of my expectations of how streams should be. But at the same time, it's also like I'm a little conflicted on what to do now. So also, where's the chat box? Did I accidentally was there? I don't know why it's not showing up. Oh well. I mean, I just don't know what I'm. I mean, honestly, the only thing I could think of now is maybe to just do reactions to trailers and shit. But at the same time, I also just wonder how YouTube's gonna react to that. Mostly, I mean, to be fair, when it. Oh. Oh yeah, there was a lot of meta. I mean, literally. Well, here's the thing, though. It felt like it was starting to do less of the meta commentary on slashers themselves, and it felt more like a meta commentary on the Scream franchise. Which, look, I think there's got to be a. I don't know. It just feels like one of those things of like, it's been 7. You're telling me 6 movies after the first one that now you're gonna you're now then gonna comment on it. And honestly, it feels like something they would do it around Scream 4, at least from what I've read about Scream 4. Mind you, I've never seen the 4th Scream. And I decided to look into the reviews of it, and it does not surprise me that it is a downward trajectory, you know? And honestly, it's funny. It feels like a movie like Scream, like the Scream franchise, right? Would make a joke about, como dice, Jason X. Like, literally the Jason movie where they go into fucking space. But honestly, I feel like I would have preferred seeing Ghostface Killer doing that at that point. Like, I get it, right? The way they set it up, could you do that? It would take it would take a lot to do that. But I mean, come on, at least with Jason X, it's iconic. So is Tix Man, or was it Tix Manhattan? I don't know. I mean, I think even honestly, it kind of felt like the opening of this film. I kind of felt like really did. I really do think was a big solidifier of it. Just okay, this is a movie that this is a movie where they literally made it an attraction, right? Sort of like a historic attraction that the first house where the murders happened. Which, to be fair, that happens in real life too. But the fact of the matter is that that's going to be the first. That's the first that then they go through all the motions of it. Like it seemed like a paid experience where you could go, where you could literally call up where you could see where everything happened. But at the same time, I'm just thinking, yeah, it is what it is, I suppose. I really do hate that. Like I kind of do think I kind of blew my load a bit on like the first, like in my review. But at the same time, that's kind of all I could say about it. And I think I said everything I could. I mean, I've written something down. Honestly, kind of its own faux review, honestly, at this point. Which, I mean, a part of me wants to kind of read verbatim, but I also just realized I could just. I don't know. I guess I always thought this. I guess I thought, kind of getting my thoughts out there. Wanted to get some initial thoughts out there. And I will admit, I'm not going to pretend like reading a bit of the IMDb and the letterbox, at least seeing the scores, didn't affect my opinion about it. But I'm also willing to have an unpopular opinion on a movie. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to pretend like my opinions were not a little impacted by seeing like at least the scores and shit. But I mean, these are opinions that I still had going out of the movie. Honestly, the only other thing I could think about just saying about my movie going experience is ranting about the fucking prices. But I feel like that's kind of a hack thing at this point. Plus, I mean, I went to the dollar store and got some snacks before that, so it's like complaining about that would just be a bit of a moot point. Like a legitimately moot point. You know? You know what? I'll be honest. I might kind of end the stream a little early just because. Yeah, I think with YouTube, I just don't know what I could do with it. Like, I know what I could do when it comes to video production, right? But live streaming, like, I kind of feel like it'd be a bit weird. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's that thing of just if I switch to just playing something like Minecraft on Twitch, that's kind of like okay, I could see that happening, right? But I don't know if it's like a thing I could do on YouTube. It's a weird thing. I'll admit it's because I probably because I have Asperger's syndrome, but yeah, I did not. I did not do that, Mr. Face. Look, I'm not gonna look. I know. Listen, these are kind of lean times, okay? And yes, there is an irony in me saying this is lean times while I go to a movie theater to watch movie. Great. Now part of me doesn't know if I could. Now I do not know if I could actually leave or end the stream right now because I realize this would just make it seem like I'm ashamed of that. I have no real shame. But yeah, honestly, I think I'm just gonna end the stream. So yeah, for those who watched, thank